Hola, it's Fuego. Welcome to another very special episode of Behind the Heat. This is my series where I talk about the looks I created for RuPaul's Drag Race season 18. Whether or not you got to see them on the main stage, baby, that doesn't matter. We still created amazing work and I'm so proud of it. So I love this series because I get to share it with all of you. So today's a very special episode. Sorry, I've been saving that for later because I got to interview Zana Bayne. Zana Bayne is this incredible designer and leather queen who has worked with everyone in the pop culture sphere, from like Lady Gaga to like Cat's Eye. Like, it really runs the gamut of everyone you think is cool. Anyone who's worn cool, funky leather looks, baby, it's her. She started working in New York and worked with very early Lady Gaga. I believe she did the You and I music video, and she's now in LA working for the stars. And she took time off last year. Not time off. She included me in her schedule last year, and we collaborated to create this incredible look for the category of Wholesome to Folsom. Here's my chat with Zana Bayne, and thank you for joining. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Let me know which detail you think is your favorite in this look. And sorry you didn't get to see it on TV, but thank you for being here. All right, let's talk to Zana Bayne, shall we? Lady Gaga, Beyoncé, Fuego. What do they all have in common? They worked with Zana Bayne!
There we are.
I mean, the leather artist to the stars. Thank you for chatting with me.
I mean, I was going to say wigs.
You know what? That is also true. I wanted to talk to you because you literally 100% made for me my Folsom look for Drag Race season 18. And even though it wasn't seen on the runway, I think we need to really celebrate this nasty pig Bondage, our baby, our child.
This little oinker needs a moment.
Look at her!
I mean, you know what's really crazy is I went into my iPhone, I searched pig because that's the name on the fold. I think I called the folder pig drag. And what's really wild is that we made this almost a year ago to date.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was looking back at like the preparation period for the show, and it was like the best time of my life. Being able to I was so hopeful, so naive, but the idea that I got to be like, okay, I'm getting on Drag Race. Let me call up the people that I've always admired their work and like shot in the dark, see if they will help collaborate with me to create something for TV. And you picked up the phone. Like, you said yes. Like, you were working on like...
That was one of the quickest yeses. Just like, yeah, obviously. Of course.
The things you were working on were major, and yet you made time for me.
This time last year was really insane. There was a lot of Coachella, there were tours, there were other music videos. It was kind of like a whirlwind, warp speed tunnel of custom with this little piggy right in the middle of all of it. It was kind of the breath of fresh air and the bit of humor that my team and I needed to get through all the insanity. So I think we both did each other favors in that time.
I'm very glad to hear that. Let's talk about your team before we do anything, because y'all went above and beyond. Like, the detail work that you put into this, you could have just made it simple for yourselves. And like the rhinestoning, the addition of the little hat.
We had a blast with this. It's like everyone was able to contribute what they were good at because it was performance, because there had to be actions, because this was going to be televised. We really wanted every single asset and facet to have a story and emotion and a gesture, if you will, and a way to call back to the challenge and the concept.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't know when you're going to show the little bits.
Yeah.
But, we have some of the classic Zana Bayne shapes, but then with the hat, my team member, Brittany, is fantastic at creating hats and tiny hats. I don't know where she gets it from. So I was like, Brittany, we've got to do a tiny daddy hat with little pig ears. And she was like, on it.
She gave it a piercing.
And then Gretchen from my team is like master crystal worker. So Gretchen did a lot of like the crystallizing. We're having so much fun the entire time and really want to make it special for you. I mean,
okay, let's start at the very beginning, because this was not our first idea.
No.
When I came into this concept, the concept was Wholesome to Folsom. That was like the only thing Drag Race gave us. And then they were going to be very careful about how much kink was involved, because it had to be like for television, for like general televisions. They wanted to see the drafts before we started making anything. But when I sent them our first draft, which was like Alice turns into the Queen of Hearts,
That's right.
like Alice in Wonderland, I thought it was really brilliant, like a little dress. I'm going to take the potion. I'm going to become big, take it off, and I'm a bondage Queen of Hearts. I was like, major.
Yeah, there were so many ways that we could have played with that and so many
Yes.
tropes. It's a classic.
And like the idea of, because you have like, I don't know the terms, but like punctured leather and like heart shapes. Like this felt in our wheelhouse. The response back was nothing to do with the kink of it all or the design. It was like someone else is already doing something Alice in Wonderland related. And so then it became a farmer, like a wholesome farmer girl that turns into the Piggy.
Yeah, of course. Farmer to pig. Classic.
You know, Alice, the Queen of Hearts. Well, if you can't do that, it's farmer to pig. I don't think there's an option B. So then the idea was, I wanted to make things like as simple as possible for you. And you had...
I feel like you were like, oh, and the skirt with the this. And it was like all of these like skirt and dress related things. And that was seeming, I don't know, a little bit either bulky or complicated. Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember being like, okay, but what if you have your little farmer's basket? Your basket is full of apples, and you look down your basket and you see the most beautiful sparkly apple, and you pick it up and it's a ball gag. That's when
it switched for me, because making a look for Drag Race, it's not just like making like a fashionable outfit. It's like, how does it perform on the stage? And I kept struggling with that. Exactly. Right. And you unlock the storytelling of the garment by bringing up the ball gag, which I don't know where it is. I forgot to bring it out. It's somewhere. But so it's then
hiding somewhere dark where no one can see it.
It's on my bedside table. I imagine.
The fun thing about that motion then is it's an apple-shaped, crystallized ball gag, and it's like the pig with a stuffed mouth sort of thing. And then, you know, once that's on, it's like the whole character comes to life.
Yeah, I was so excited to perform it because I bought a basket, I bought different like fruits. What I was gonna do was be like, oh, look at this like very phallic corn. And I was gonna be like, ooh, how phallic. And then I was gonna be like, oh, like an eggplant, like, ooh, how phallic. Because, you know, RuPaul loves this kind of like jokey things. And then I was gonna pull up an apple and be like, this is just an apple. And then I was gonna be like, And then once it became the ball gag, I was gonna unbuckle the overalls of this dress and reveal our bondage Piggy.
Yes.
So I was gonna have my farmer's hat on top of this, like a big sun hat, then take that off and reveal her. And then you know what happens once the Piggy turns around.
You want to share
with the class? Well, once the Piggy turns around, of course, she has a tail.
Of course. But what is this tail? What's this little curly Q tail? Oh, is it?
Oh, baby.
A little whip. Mm-hmm.
You know, is it bedazzled?
Of course it is.
Well, of course it's crystallized.
This isn't just a pig. This is a drag pig.
It's not just a pig, it's a bondage pig, and it's not just a bondage pig. It's a drag bondage pig.
Drag bondage pig.
What else do you remember from the creation of this? Because I remember, I mean, you had the leather.
Well, we have to talk about the snout, because the snout is really nasty.
I don't know if we can even show this on the internet.
It's a pig nose, a really stunningly crystallized little pig snout.
Because we couldn't actually have a strap on. But it had to be a pig nose in the strap-on position.
Sure, it's an ode to a strap-on.
I couldn't believe that they allowed me to have this.
I don't see any issues there.
Me neither. It's high art. It's both high art and camp at the same time.
Yes. Another really cute detail is the choker.
Yes.
Which I love studying for embellishment. I think most people know this. I love adding special messages. It's a little difficult to see with the tonal on tonal, but that says OINK.
I mean, I was so honored to be the kind of drag race debut of Zana Bayne. But you are known to also work with some of the best drag queens. Talk to me about the Gottmik cage you made for her, working with Violet. How did that all come to be?
This goes way back, and Violet might kill me for this, but
Letter.
There's at least one season of Drag Race where I loaned accessories to whoever was styling all of like the opening promo looks. And Violet was actually wearing some of my harness pieces for
her promo on season 7.
She won. Yeah. And we didn't even know each other then. We became friends, like internet friends, and then buddies.
Whoa.
And now we've done so many special custom looks, both for performance, personal trinkets. And Violet just knows her history and her references, like fashion history to really niche like fetish illustration. So it's always such a blast to work with her. That's exactly what she wants. And I got to work with Mick through knowing Violet. They were doing a shoot together, and I create these kind of like matching custom looks. This idea for their tour showing me this old Erte sketch, which had cages with people inside of it. And I was like, hey, do you think, is this possible? And immediately I had to make that work.
You were like, I don't know, and yet I need to make it.
There's a way to make this happen, and I would like to figure that out.
And you use like metal.
And all of the base is leather, but the upper of the cage is lightweight metal. And that was like, okay, well, how can we make it something you can move in? How can we make it something that you can transport?
Right, take it on tour.
Yeah, there's always kind of levels, the things that are a bit more visually extreme, and then there'll be like a purse or a choker or a mesh shirt that almost anyone could find a way to wear.
Yeah, whether you are a fun goth like Gottmik, or a studied a woman of corsetry and eleganza like Violet, or just a lady that wants to have a nice purse.
Or just a little piggy.
Or just a little piggy. Now, unfortunately, this didn't make it the drag race, but I told you where I actually got to wear it, right?
Please tell me again.
This past summer, I went to Folsom East in my Zana Bayne leather pig bondage queen look, and I got to interview people all about the relationship between like queerness and kink and bondage and drag. Because last summer was also the era where like drag queens reading to children was this like taboo thing. And in my estimation, like drag queens, like any person, understand like context. Like we can read to children when we're reading to children, and we can also be
the drag queens who can read.
I was thinking like no one's gonna know who I am because I'm not on Drag Race yet. I'm gonna be one person in a sea of people in leather. But I got stopped by hundreds of people admiring the work. And these are people that wear leather all the time. There were like vendors of leather items everywhere, like beautiful designs. And yet they stopped me not because they were like, oh, let me speak to you. They were like, who made this? This is amazing. The Piggy got seen where she was always meant to be.
You went from Wholesome to Folsom.
Literally.
Truly.
Oh, and then I haven't told you where I filmed the Wholesome part of it. Me and my stupid little overall. I actually went to a farm in North Carolina and read to children at a farm.
In the farmer outfit.
In the farm.
Okay, amazing.
But I didn't have this underneath because like I actually don't think that's correct. I think like for TV purposes, you can turn into a wholesome farmer into a pig, but I'm not going to be at a farm with children actually in this.
No, you wouldn't, because you're a smart person with your head on your shoulders who understands like how society works and different tropes of appropriateness. Yeah.
So in this week, I'm excited to be launching these like 2 sets of content. One is like me looking like a bondage pig at actual Folsom. And also me having like such a cute moment with like actual children at a farm. I think that there's room for both. From Wholesome to Folsom and everything in between. Oh, wow. What a beautiful finale.
Well, they're really, I mean, our entire interaction during the creative process and getting to know each other before, during, and after really was kind of a wholesome aspect. It was really a pleasure to get to work with you and make something so special and catered for you.
Thank you. I'm obsessed with the work you do. I am honored to be like in the roster of clientele that you work with because your work is so broad in the kind of design that you work in, but the quality and the creativity and like the artistry level is like stunning every single time. I'm like scrolling through Instagram like, another one? Thank you. Another one? And to be a part of that this year, I'm honored. I really am honored.
I can't wait for the world to get to see what we came up with and get to share this.
Well, thank you for speaking to me. I love you so much. Thank you for chatting with me. Thank you for watching this video, and Zana Bayne, Zana Bayne.